தினம்தோறும் விளக்கேற்ற நல்ல எண்ணெய் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெய்.
உங்கள் மீடியா கனவு பணத்தால் தடைப்படுகிறதா? தகுதியான நபர்களுக்கு 100% வரை ஸ்காலர்ஷிப், படிக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் இன்டர்ன்ஷிப், பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் அசிஸ்டன்ஸ். பாண்டே ஸ்கூல் ஆஃப் ஜேர்னலிசம் ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் கோர்ஸில் உடனே சேர psj234@yahoo.com, phone 7338824242.
Singh Nayyar, General Secretary and Correspondent of Guru Nanak College. Professor M. Krishnan, Vice Chancellor, Central University, Tiruvallur. Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, Principal of this college. To our Dr. Swati Paliwal, Convener and Coordinator, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Guru Nanak College. Distinguished academicians, educationists, all those who have worked in the field of education and present here. My dear students, friends from the media, I am delighted to be here at this great institution which has been doing so outstandingly well, not only in the field of academics, but even in various other fields like sports, social outreach, innovations, and several service sectors. We have all heard about this institution. In the last little over 50 years, just about 52 years, this institution has made a mark and attained a reputation which is the envy of others. When I got the invite, I accepted it for more than one reason, of course, the outstanding college and NEP 2020, which is dear to our heart. But there is also a little unshared secret, and that is whenever an institution is named after Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and if there is an invitation, I don't resist. Because this great divine soul who came on this earth over 550 years ago, he had been, or he has been even, a great influence and inspiration in my personal life. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, as we know, born in a very, very humble background, lived a hard life. He earned his meal through his own labor. He traveled the length and breadth of this country, not only this country, but even went in among the neighboring countries. From Kanyakumari to Ladakh, to Baghdad, in the east to Kamrup, which is Guwahati today. He traveled almost for over 14 years, walking across the length and breadth of this country. Over 500 years ago, spreading the message of oneness of all human beings, and the value, the centrality of service to humanity as the creed, breaking all the barriers of caste, creed, language, race, region, culture, cuisine, He was a revolutionary divine soul who tried to unite the entire humanity. He taught us to demolish the barriers that come between humans and humans. Such a great revolutionary divine soul living such a hard, simple life, earning his daily meal through his own hard work, not unlike many gurus that we see today. He had been a great inspiration for me, and he must be a great inspiration for all of us. And this institution, it also occurs to me at times that if it has attained this height of glory, by which it has become an envy of other institutions, maybe it was established at a very auspicious occasion of 500th year anniversary of his birth anniversary. And it has been inspired by his ideals. And even when we think about NEP, I think much of the NEP you will get in Guru Nanak Dev's teachings. And I'm glad that this institution, under the visionary and dynamic leadership of its General Secretary and correspondent, Manjeet Singh Iyer, is striving to gain ever greater heights. And I wish all of you the very best in years to come. You be the light. A great thing about, I can't resist sharing, that this Sikh community, we heard, though it is a minority, they never ask for a minority benefit. In fact, here is a minority institution which is in the service of the majority. And this is the case all over. You will never find, at least I, in my over nearly about 72 years of my life, I have not seen a begging Sikh. Enterprise, hard work, determination, resolve. A starved house, however small it may be, but with self-pride, self-respect, rise. This virtue the nation needs. The country needs this spirit. A spirit of not asking favor. Instead, building oneself capable to do service to others rather than seeking service from others in various names or various categories. This is indeed worth emulating and worth inculcating. And I would expect the students who come out of this institution, besides your academic excellence and other excellence that you acquire here, you carry a bit of this spirit. And I assure you, life will always be rewarding for you. Keep that. I do not know whether this institution, as a way of curriculum that teach those values, those teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, but I am sure, even if they don't, and to what extent I am not aware, the very fact that the institution functions, the institution works, it itself it should be worth emulating. You learn a lot of things, not necessarily by books, but by seeing others, how they do in their life. Friends, national education policy 2020, which this institution and with the active participations of resource persons from different institutions. The last 2 days, I'm sure you must have deliberated on the strategies, how to implement, how to go about it. And I'm sure with this 2 days churning, a lot of good must have come out and would be carrying it. All that I would like to share with you is the spirit of NEP 2020. What is the spirit of an NEP 2020? Usually it is said that this is the third education policy in our country. The first was in the 60s, second was in 80s, and this is the third one. But is it really the third one? It is not. In many ways, it is the first one. Because earlier two education policies, they were improving. They were reformatory in nature. Academic curriculum, the education system that we had inherited from the colonial age. We believed that that was perhaps the best suited to our country. And education policy of 60s and 80s, they emphasized on how to spread the education, that education to the largest number. How to improve what was being taught. Some tinkering here, some tinkering there. But essential core of education policy remained essentially what we had inherited from the colonial time. This policy is revolutionary. This is transformative. It doesn't take much lessons. The lessons, of course, the lessons are that what we didn't achieve. Despite all these nearly over 7 decades of independence, how come a country like India, a huge country of now over 130 crores, perhaps we are 140 crores. This country, even after 7 decades of independence, we remained home of the largest number of illiterate, sick, poor, homeless, deprived of the basic ingredients of a healthy citizenship. Not that we didn't build schools, not that we didn't build industry, not that we didn't build hospitals, not that we didn't build roads and generate electricity. We did. All these years we kept doing it. But the problems kept multiplying. There was a fundamental flaw in the earlier system. The system was essentially a system that believed in the government being the main, or if not the sole, agent of change. A psychology had developed that the transformation, the change has to be brought in by the government. Institutions have to be built by the government. Infrastructure has to be built by the government. Society had become emasculated. It was a client-patron relationship between the government and the people. People were client looking for the government. I remember in my childhood in my village, I was born and brought up. I did my high schooling from my village. Every year, before the monsoon starts, the whole village will gather, at least one male member from every family got together, took our spades and crowbars, and cleaned the canal, distributary canal, for running into several kilometers, which took waters to our field. We didn't look up to government to come and do it. Before the advent of rains, the village got together, desilted the village pond so that the water, rainwater, is stored there. I participated in that. This was community's power. This was society's power. But today, I find in the same village, when the road, there is a small patch which is not okay, which is not where there are some ditches. People will get together, write a long petition, go to the district office or the state capital, present the petitions to either the MLAs or minister or the officials. Look, now this is the stage where we reached. The advent of modern state in the European model emasculated our strength, and we became dependent on this government. As a result, government with their limited resources kept building schools. But after all, with the 5-year plan, you have a limited number of budget. With this plan, we will have built so many schools, so many colleges. With the health, allocation of some money. With this plan, we will build so many hospitals, so many medical colleges, build so many roads, always constrained by resource. We started addressing the problem incrementally, piecemeal. And in the process, the problem also kept multiplying. We kept building roads, but a large part of our country remained unconnected. We kept generating electricity, but a major part of our households were without electricity. We kept building hospitals and medical colleges, but a large number of our people remained deprived of the basic health care. That model was not suitable for this country. This model we could have continued. We could have continued doing all those things, and in the next 50 years also we would have had the same problem. The fundamental flaw. No. If this country, if this India, of such a large country, if it has to have its position, due position, in the community of nations, it has to change its course. It has to change its path. It cannot do what it has been done for the last 70 years. It has to address its problem holistically, and also it has to address its how to meet. It has to be ambitious. It has to be confident. It has to be capable of fulfilling the confidence. And this is possible only we build our citizenry, build our youth through education. Appropriate education. Appropriate education is one that is able to meet the needs and demands of the time. The needs and demands of the time. And today, we know we are in a knowledge age. There was a time the humanity has evolved through various phases. From agrarian, when we were farmers, largely, to industrial age. Industrial age, it has its own needs. It needed its own what was the workforce needed for it. Then information communication technology age, internet age. We are in digital age, artificial intelligence age. Its revolutionary transformation is happening in the technology. We cannot be in the mode of just catching up. No. We have to have a quantum leap. We have to. And how do we take the quantum leap? How do you ensure that we provide appropriate education to our young people so that they are able to meet the challenge of today and tomorrow? So that their latent capacity, their potential, they are able to realize their potential and fulfill it. This had to be done. And that is why, with the great churning of minds from all sections of the society, this education policy was not drafted and prepared by the bureaucrats, by the government. No. Several 100,000 people from the field of academia, the field of industry, the field of social service, various fields, they gave their input, because the objective was how to equip our youth, our students, with the knowledge, with the education, with which once they walk out of the precincts of their institution, they walk out confidently, march into the world, and make a place for themselves. Not the degree holders. We have large number of degree holders. We were producing, and every time all the time noise was unemployment. I have a degree in my hand. I'm a graduate. I'm a postgraduate. I'm a PhD. I'm not getting a job. Nobody cares for your degree today. People care for what worth you are. If you are not worth, your degree doesn't help you. In fact, when I met in our own state, which is very progressive, which has a very sound industrial base, where the gross enrollment ratio is almost double the national average. When I meet the industry, when I meet the people, I ask the question, are you expanding? Why are you not expanding? Because there has been a plateau. It is not. And one core reason they say is absence of adequately skilled human resource. Some of them go to the extent of saying that almost 80 to 90% of our engineers are unemployable. You take the degree and you go for a job. Nobody gives you a job. This has to be corrected. Today, in our universities over the country, and the data I got from UGC, over 70% of our college and university students are studying humanities, arts. Now, imagine what kind of future is awaiting them. Over 70%. I don't say that history is bad or political science. No, they are all good subjects, worthy of pursuing. But are they appropriate to the age? That many? When 70% of our students graduate with a degree in humanities, where do they go? So, while we have to create an academic education system where there is a greater emphasis on STEM, science and technology. And at the same time, we should also create an environment where students, those who are going for humanities, they also are equipped with adequate knowledge and skill while graduating in their own disciplines, so that when they come out of the university, they are worthy of employment. And here comes the multidisciplinary courses. a student of history, a student of political science, can have a break while graduating under the new education policy and do a diploma course in computer application. Because most of the students, they don't come to a STEM because they feel that they are not very comfortable with mathematics. There is something wrong with our teaching system because mathematics can be a very interesting subject. I did my physics, highly mathematical. But the credit goes to my school teacher who initiated me into mathematics. Mathematics not subject to scare you away, but mathematics as a fun, as a language. So there is something that needs to be done, how to motivate more and more of our youth towards a STEM. But even those who are not, they are coming, they must have an opportunity to choose for education where perhaps the mathematics is not there. So, okay, you learn some skill. Computer application is one such. There are many. Go in art, go in music, multidisciplinary. This linear approach that if I have joined a degree in history, I am condemned to be a graduate only of history. This will not work. This is not suitable for our country. We have to change. We have to radically change. Teaching and learning in mother tongue. For a very, very long time, and even today, our mind has been so colonized that we believe that if someone is good in English, he is an educated person. Why? You go to China, go to Japan, go to Russia, go to Germany. They are doing wonders without learning English. Why is it that we can't do it? We didn't pay adequate attention because, after all, learning in a foreign language, it has a certain entropy, it consumes a lot of energy, and it is a huge discouragement. Everyone is not cognitively as suited to move in that other foreign language. So why not? The greater emphasis. We need to get the best of technology, best of knowledge, and teach our students. I heard this institution is collaborating with some European institution. Wonderful, this is what it is supposed to be. Since long time, ancient time, we used to have, since the time of the Vedic period, there is a very well-known saying, Ano Bhadra Kratavo Yantu Vishwada. Let the noble thoughts, let the good ideas come from all over. Don't close your mind. Job. There are areas where we need to learn from others, and we must be willing to learn. We must be open to that. And at the same time, we must also develop the entrepreneurial capacity. The capacity, the curiosity, the drive and energy to go for innovation. And this we are doing it. Our young men and women are doing it. If about 8-9 years back, in the till 2014, we had less than 500 startup. Today we have more than 100,000 startup, and more than 110 of them are unicorn. It is because our young men and women are doing these wonderful things. Incredible things they are doing it. All that is needed is government should not think as they are the sole agent of change. They have let the capacity, the potential of our youth. Imagine the capacity of 140 crore Indians. If they can start contributing, the country transforms. And if it is transforming today, as I said, in the field of a startup, if we are in the top 3, and if in the number of a startup which is happening every month, India is the number 1 today. From nowhere in the reckoning, we are now in the top. All that is to have a trust in our people, to trust in our people that they can do it. And you take the case, a simple case. For all these 7 decades almost, we remained with a very dubious distinction of nearly 60% of Indians going for open defecation. And whenever somebody talks about the toilet is something to talk about. It is a cultural issue. Do whatever you want. People will go out, take the lota and go out. But the same people transform within no time. Now India is open defecation free. It is not done by the government, by the people. The trust in the power of our youth, trust in the power of our countrymen and women. Women power. Half the population deprived. Can a society, can a country be built by depriving the half? No. It is not possible. Not that we didn't care for them in the past. We did care. But the needed anxiety, needed desire, that thrust was missing. We kept talking about women empowerment, but doing little to create the environment for women empowerment. How is it possible that we have our girls going to schools and colleges if we don't build girl toilets in the schools and colleges? Is it possible? No. As simple as that. We kept talking about women literacy, women education, without creating adequate enabling environment. And as a result, we kept our half the population away from contributing to building the nation. Today, all the frontiers are open. We know that our girls are doing, our daughters are doing incredible things. They are doing in all the results that you see, invariably you will find they are doing better than the boys. This is new India. The new India has to be built with the new spirit of transformation, new spirit of building the new country, taking it to the destiny that it deserves. This country does not deserve to be at the margin of international affairs. This country deserves to be at the center stage of the world affairs. And while we are building our nation by creating wealth, creating technology, learning and creating new technology and technological institutions, building our material strength, one thing more, this is the national education policy talks about it, is sense of who we are. We have produced we have more than 250,000 IITians who are managing the best, most advanced technical institutions in the United States of America. Wherever you go, you will find our IITians are doing that. Our engineers, our doctors are serving. They are universal citizens. We have given them the technical education, the best of it. But we did not inspire them to develop a sense of who you are. But still, it is there in the sanskar. And that sanskar we saw it during COVID when our people, expatriate Indians, they started contributing to the best, to the benefit of our people, wherever they were. I was governor in Nagaland. That's a state where we just didn't have a medical college. There was no BSL laboratory. There was nothing. There was no place where you could have oxygen. Remote areas. Problem was terrific. Was in fact terrible. But people started asking our people from abroad, tell us, sir, what we can do. And within no time, they built numerous oxygen plants in the remote areas, the taluks, districts along Burma border. They came, they built, they trained and left. Voluntary. They built it. The sense of service to the nation is there, but we must give them a sense of pride in being an Indian. Who are we? Who we were. The colonial rule, one thing that they did, and they did it systematically, they tried to kill our sense of selfhood, the sense of pride. And today we believe that, I as a student in the middle school, we used to have a set question. The question used to be, write down the benefits of the British rule in India. Benefits of the British rule in India, and we as a young student, by rote learning, we had learned British English language, railway line, judicial system, all these things. As if without English, we didn't know how to talk, how to do. Railways they built for us, as if we were not moving, we were not trading, as if there was no sense of justice, it was a land of barbarians. An image of a country of a snake and a snake charmers, they cultivated deliberately to destroy the sense of selfhood, the sense of pride. We know, but many of us, we don't know, that till the beginning of 19th century, India was the largest economy in the world. And those of you who are curious, I urge you to go on the internet and just punch global, the world economy millennial perspective. The world economy millennial perspective is a document created by, not by Indians, not by us, by OECD countries. And we know OECD country, there's a club of the most developed countries. They published a report in 1982. And what was the provocation for their report? 10 years before, in 1972, a British economic historian, Paul Baruch, he published an essay. In that essay, he said, Europe became rich in the last 200 years. America became rich in the last 100 years. Before that, India was the economic powerhouse of the world. This truth was not digestible to the developed countries. They commissioned a study to debunk it. But what the study brought out, you see on the net. It gives you from the 1st century AD till the 19th century. It gives you 20th century account of. And then you realize that till the beginning of 19th century, India was the largest. India's GDP was nearly 1/3 of the world GDP. What happened in the 200 years? They destroyed our industry. They destroyed our agriculture. They destroyed our education system. And they made us believe that everything English was the best. A sense of inferiority among Indians and a sense of superiority towards them. I am not going to detail, maybe sometime later. These are all documented how this policy came. It was a deliberate policy. We need to rediscover ourselves. We need to take pride in our past. We need to take pride in our civilizational heritage. We need to take pride in the teachings of great divine soul Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And there were people like him who also come and taught us before. We need to rediscover. Those things need to be rediscovered. They are yet to be discovered. But we have to. And this only gives us a sense of pride. A person, a community without a sense of history is not a community. The community which doesn't have a sense of pride in who they are, it cannot grow. And we have all the reasons to be proud of who we are. After all, long before, thousands of years, several thousands years before, the Europe, and of course there was no America as such. They all got to know the basics. Here in this country, on this land, we had the best of philosophy, best of literature, best of epics. We have every reason to be proud of our past. This has to be taught. So, in our national education policy, this sense of who we are, our past, our civilizational heritage, it has to be taught to us. When I was a student in schools, we used to we used to learn, read and learn teachings of various spiritual leaders, various saints from different religion, different community. In the name of secularism, it was all wiped out. Everything, nothing of the past should be there. And we started building a new society, engineering a new country, as if it is ab initio, from scratch. No, we cannot do that. If we do, this is what we have been doing, and the result was that nobody took us seriously. Such a large country, imagine, and no country in the world takes us seriously. It's not the case today. Today, India is moving forward with a sense of pride, with a sense of destiny. And the destiny is in the next 24 years, we have to be the leader of the world. By the time the country celebrates, 3 quarters have gone, it's okay. The next quarter is the quarter in which we have to build this country as the leader of the world. And the leader of the world is possible only when we have a right education, appropriate education, where every individual, every citizen feels a stakeholder. And we are fortunate. We are fortunate today that we are not only a witness to this great revolutionary transformation that our country is going through, but we are also a participant. And all the students of this great institution, when you will reach in the 1947, when you will be at at different stations in your life, leading positions wherever you are, all of you need to ask a question to yourself: what did you do to build this nation? To take this nation to where it should be. Think of it. And in that spirit, we have to take this national education policy. It is not just a policy document. It is a revolutionary transformational formula. It has to be appreciated. It has to be internalized. And it will be internalized. It will be appreciated. It is being appreciated. Those who do not understand it, for some reason, they have a divergent view. But I am very confident that in the coming days, everyone will come around. Because it is our national purpose, fulfill our national purpose and national goal. All the participants of the 2 days conference, those who have come from outside, I wish you a safe journey home. Those who have come from outside, I hope you have also seen a bit of this land, Tamil Nadu. It's a beautiful land, rich in cultural, literary heritage, very fine people. I hope you visited some places around and saw. You enjoyed the local cuisine, very fascinating. Go back with a sweet memory and be the agent of change wherever you are. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.